Rub that bag, all I know is get to it. Incognito, everything fully. You dumb if you think you can duck these bullets.
So now Terence Crawford was on PEDs. Now, ever since Bud Crawford has revealed his new physique, so to speak, ahead of his fight against Canelo Alvarez, now all of a sudden he is juicing.
I need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up.
But I've been seeing in the boxing community for the past week, ever since Terence Crawford started releasing these compilation videos, started showing how he's kind of just, he's a lot bigger than what we're used to seeing from Terence Crawford. But now there's a narrative that Bud Crawford has been cheating. He's cheating. Why? Because, well, he's associated with Snack, Victor Conte, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. People put two and two together. Well, they assume since Victor Conte knows how to get around Vada, et cetera, well, then Terence Crawford must be cheating.
Snack, and I know some news came out this week and all of that, but I personally believe that Snack is clean. I think it's a conflict of interest, the fact that, hey, he knows how to beat the system, quote unquote, Victor Conte, but at the same time, I think Snack, you got products going around the world, this and that. I mean, all these athletes are testing. They're not testing anything or positive by using Snack at all, so I think they're safe. There's no doubt about it. So with that being said, I'm not worried about that. As long as they're testing, I'm good.
I don't care what you people say about Terence Crawford for the rest of his career. In my opinion, that dude is a juice monster. I just saw him working out ahead of the Canelo Alvarez fight. The dude looks like Hulk fucking Hogan. Nigga, get off that shit before it kills you. Jesus Christ, bro. You got arrow with it? Cool. Stop doing the shit. You're overdoing it, bro. Don't nobody believe this shit. You look like a goddamn NFL linebacker, nigga, jumping the ropes with weights on your vest. Nigga, you look like a juice monster. Fuck off, Terence Crawford. I don't believe shit about your career. Personally, I don't believe a fucking thing about your career because you look like a fucking steroid monster trying to cheat Canelo Alvarez. Who's a steroid monster? Cheating on cheating on cheating. Disgusting.
This is what people are saying, right? Forget about the fact that we actually got cheaters in the sport of boxing who actually get caught for testing positive. Forget that fact, right? Forget that there's guys like Ryan Garcia. Anybody that was been associated with Eddie Reynoso for the past several years has tested positive. For whatever reason, these guys are testing positive on that side of things. But nobody wants to say nothing about Jaime Munguia and Francisco Rodriguez, Canelo Alvarez, right? They don't want to say nothing about that, but we just go say guys like Terence Crawford is on PEDs. We're going to say guys like Errol the Truth, Big Fish Spence Jr. is on PEDs, right? These guys never test positive. Oh, Anthony Joshua, yeah, him too. He was on PEDs. None of these guys test positive ever in their career. Deontay Wilder, oh, well, he's another one. There's no way he's hitting that hard. PEDs, right? Guys just can't be gifted. Guys can't just have a special talent. Guys just can't grow as people and get bigger over the years. Terence Crawford is almost a 40-year-old man now. He sat out for quite a while. Normally, Crawford probably likes to keep his weight down, right? But then he kind of let things go, probably ate a little more. He grew right into their frame, right? And for the people who probably seen Bud Crawford in person, they say Bud Crawford ain't necessarily a small guy. He's not necessarily a small guy, right? And the guy can't be considered a small guy when you have arms that's damn near touching your ankles. You can't necessarily be that small of a guy. Yeah, you may be short, so to speak, right, in some regards, but not necessarily small. But now all of a sudden he's testing positive, right? He's going to test positive some way or another. Vada's going to get him. Oh, you know what? Better yet, he knows how to get around Vada. Because he knows Victor Conte. Because he's part of the Snack program. Not to forget the fact that Virgil Ortiz who was representing and sponsored by Snack and Bam Rodriguez and amongst other guys, right? Forget that. We're just going to forget about that and just focus on Terence. There's no way he's that big. How? He's juicing. Then see him lift 9 weights. He already told us he don't lift weights, right? He just can't. He got to be cheating. Boxing fans for years have been harder on guys that they assume is on something versus the guys that actually get caught on being on something. For years, it's been like this. Now they saying it about Bud Crawford. They never necessarily said this about Terence Crawford until now. They can't explain it. This guy hops every hurdle put in front of him. The wrong side of the street. Well, he found a way to cross the street, right? Like everything put in front of Bud Crawford, every narrative put out there, Bud Crawford seems to overcome these obstacles. Overcame Bob Arum, even sued him on his way out. I mean, he just did all that, right? Getting the bag now from Turkey and all this other stuff, right? BLK Prime wanted to do business with him. They said he wasn't selling, right? They said he wasn't a draw, but I'm looking around. But they got to find something, right? They got to find something because they can't find nothing. This is kind of how it goes. You got big channels, right? Some of your favorite YouTubers is coming out here putting this negative energy out into the boxing universe when Terence Crawford is arguably one of the cleanest fighters that we've seen in and out of the ring. One of the cleanest fighters we've seen. Don't do nothing, no partying, right? No drinking, no none of that stuff, right? His fights are even clean. He don't be low-blowing dudes, head-butting and doing none of that illegal stuff. This dude never even got a split decision. He never got no majority decision or a draw or anything like that. He has arguably one of the cleanest boxing careers ever. When you hear guys speak, what Oscar De La Hoya say when he asked again about the fight? He went all the way back to Gamboa. A fight that happened when Crawford was 16-0 and Gamboa was 16-0. There was a crossroads fight between two guys that was on their way, who was going to take it to the next level. Crossroads type of fight. They got to go back that far to when he was 16-0. He's 41-0 now. That's how 12 years ago they have to go back to find something. They can't find nothing. So we just going to pin the fact that he's dealing with Vada. He's dealing with Victor Conte and Snack, and he must be on the attack. We must stop his attack because he's dealing with Snack. Right? Not knowing, right, that Vada can pop up at anywhere at any time. Anywhere in the world, Vada will know where you're at, and they will pop up on you when it's that time. But this is what's going on right now in the boxing community. To take away the fact that Canelo Alvarez, he hardly even started camp. Right? He's hardly even started camp ahead of this thing. How is he going to prepare for this guy is the big question.
Canelo looked elite against Billy Joe Saunders, but Saunders exposed the flaw. Canelo struggles with rhythm, movement, and fluidity. Then came Caleb Plant. Slick, yes, but untested. Canelo walked him down and got the finish. But Bivol wasn't like the others. He controlled range, stayed disciplined and kept the pace high. Canelo looked lost, flat-footed, one pace, frustrated. Then back to Triple G, John Ryder. Flat-footed, forward styles. Suddenly Canelo looks sharp again, because it's not form, it's opponents. Now enters Terence Crawford, not just slick, he's surgical. He controls space like Bivol, but with better timing and switch hitting. If Bivol could shut Canelo down over 12, Crawford might not even let him start.
Because now the size and the weight narrative is starting to slowly disappear more and more as the weeks go by. To now we're going to say, well, this dude looks too big. He might be bigger than Canelo for real. He is on PEDs. This is what they do. Guys come out of here and they start insinuating. Guys with channels, guys that got a huge following, guys that, boxing fans, they take their word as gospel. And then they putting this bad energy, this negative. If they never tested positive before, you can't say they some cheaters, bro. That's why I never got down when they were saying Errol Spence must be on something. Nah, he must not be on nothing. Some guys they physically, genetically gifted. Some guys can cut the weight and still be great. Some guys can do this and do that. Other guys can't. Right? We are not all created equal. We're not. Some guys genetically, this is ahead of the curve, bro. Some of us got to work a lot harder. right? Sorry that some people just can't win. They didn't win the genetic Olympics, man. They couldn't make it to the genetic Olympics, bro. They just couldn't make it. Some people made it. Some people can cut a lot of weight. Jared Hurd was a big guy, cutting a lot of weight, was able to make it down and still put out. You know what I'm saying? That was just one of his special abilities, right? Are we gonna say he was just juicing? No. Never got tested, never got caught up. Never tested positive. But then you got guys like Ryan Garcia testing positive for Austrian. Conor Ben, who I like, by the way, tested positive for some eggs and some whatever. Austrian 2 or something. I forgot what it was. Jared Big Baby Miller, who now is in a good grace of boxing fans, but he had a steroid cocktail. He tested positive, just kept testing positive, just wouldn't stop testing positive. Big chubby guy. It's not the big muscular guy like Anthony Joshua that looks like an action figure. It's not that guy that's testing positive, but everybody wanted to assume that AJ was on some juice. AJ never tested positive. Right? So this is what boxing fans do. When they just can't, when every obstacle, every narrative they try to put out there gets debunked or thwarted, they want to come with something else. Now Bud Crawford, all of a sudden, is just juicing. He got to be juicing. He got to be doing something. There's just no way he should be this big going into this fight with Canelo Alvarez.
I don't care what you people say about Terence Crawford for the rest of his career. In my opinion, that dude is a juice monster.
But I still got the question, how is Canelo Alvarez going to deal with Terence Bud Crawford if the weight is not a factor?
Charlo's 154. He ain't got power like Terence Crawford. He ain't got stamina like Terence Crawford. He ain't got skills or a resume. And Canelo couldn't do nothing. Canelo tried to be physical with Charlo, tried to walk him down, bully him, load up, and it didn't work. Charlo kept moving, kept surviving, and Canelo couldn't cut the ring off. Now imagine the same fight, but with Terence Crawford, better rhythm, better footwork, better distance control. And when Canelo misses, Crawford's popping him, stepping off and resetting. Crawford's not going to freeze like Charlo. He's going to make Canelo pay every single time.
But tell me what you guys think. Terence Bud Crawford appears to be a lot bigger than boxing fans expected going to this fight with Canelo Alvarez. He seems to have the size to deal with what Canelo Alvarez is going to bring September 13th, but only time will tell. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.